Welcome to another Rise and Shine. My name is Alissa IG, the consultress. I am your hostess, bringing you uncommon conversations from the front lines of innovation in today's world of disruption. I have the privilege and pleasure today to bring to you Andrey Sokurec, one of my dear friends that I've known for over a decade, who's been a star in my sky, a mentor to me in a lot of ways, and he's done the thing that I'm looking to do, built a 9-figure business year over year, and been on the Inc. 5000 list 6 years in a row. Author, businessman, awesome father. Andrey, welcome to Rise and Shine. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Cheers, Alissa, and good to have you. Good to be on your show.
Right on, man. I'm getting all the feels. We started once upon a training room, learning how to give presentations and talks to help people transform their lives. And it looks like you've been up to just that in the last 10 years. Tell us a little bit about your real estate business and how that kind of shows up in your personal passions and what that provides you the ability to do in your life.
Yeah, well, Alissa, I still do remember the workshop that we did at Jack Canfield, and that was terrifying to do public speaking 10 years ago because English is not my first language. But it didn't stop me from building uh, I would say, a good sized business and having, like, we had over 100 employees across 3 states. And our mission is to provide the simplest way to sell a home. If someone has a house that they need to sell, inherited, or the house that needs repairs, they can call us. We'll buy a house, we fix it up, and then we invite the family to look at the house, say goodbye. We give a watercolor painting of the home with the best memories about the home, and family move on, and we sell a house. Or a person also can hire us, our professionals, to list a house, because our real estate experts, agents, sell about 80 homes per year on average, each agent, which is like many times more than traditional realtor sells about 2.5 homes. But the journey was incredible. 10 years ago, we started at Jack Canfield. Jack Canfield is a phenomenal mentor and a great teacher. And since I think his workshop is transformational. If you don't know who Jack Canfield is, I don't know if there are someone who doesn't know, but check him out. And breakthrough success is a great first step to take.
Absolutely. And so, when we were learning how to do public speaking and training ourselves in the principles of human potential training, not only did we have to learn how to facilitate, speak, and debrief and process people through their transformation, we also had to be a product of the work, right? So when we first met, we had a lot of, opportunity to do off the wall or unconventional exercises together. So we got to know each other really well, really quickly. And I have been tracking your journey. I've traveled to your area of the country a few times over the last decade. And the business that you've built has allowed for you to move your home with your children and provide for a lifestyle that, real estate is probably one of the only ways I see people able to build that kind of lifestyle. So, back me up and share with the audience here, what is it that that lifestyle looks like now that you've been able to put that system in place and build this value creating engine through real estate? What does that afford you to be able to do?
Yeah, I think like 15 years ago, when I came with no money, no English, no credit report, I've been working as a manual worker on construction sites, even though I have a master's degree in finance and experience working at the largest Russian bank. Uh, I had to do the manual jobs, and then I felt overwhelmed, overworked. And when my first daughter born, I was barely at home. And when I was at work, I felt terrible that I'm not spending time with my daughter. And when I was at home, I felt terrible because I'm not working and I needed to provide for my family. And one day I went to library, public library. A lot of people probably don't utilize this free service. Right now I buy most of all the books on Amazon. It's easy. But 15 years ago, like it was much harder. In public library, you can get the book for free. And I grabbed one book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Start learning about concept of real estate, and that was very appealing. And I also learned from another gentleman whose name is Dan Sullivan, strategic coach, about freedom of time. I see that you have a 10x book on your. Yeah, that's a
Yes, I
great
do.
book.
This is the most recent publication. If you haven't yet read it out there, go get it now, right now.
Yeah, that's a good book. Yeah, a nice mindset to have that you can go 10x everywhere. And I learned about the concept of real estate, and since that, I've been helping people and first myself and other people to understand about the concept of freedom of time and money for real estate investing. And initially, I wanted to buy 10 homes. I calculated that uh, I need about $10,000 per month of passive income. And if I pay those homes off, I can make $10,000 per month and I will be the happiest person in the world. And when the real estate market collapsed in 2008, I was able to raise capital and bought close to 100 rental properties and successfully managed them. And a couple years ago, we had the exit and successfully sold the portfolio and rolled the capital into another company. So I
Uh,
believe a lot of people probably feel overworked, overwhelmed, and maybe hate their jobs. Like Gallup research shows that probably 25% of all the people who have W-2 job dislike their job. And probably real estate, one of the easiest and the best tools that someone can get in and start buying, acquiring rental portfolio. And slowly, it doesn't happen really fast. It takes time. Use real estate as a tool to build this financial independence.
yeah. So, I'm with you. I'm on it. Yeah, my dad too was an immigrant, came over for the American dream, built a active income in retail food, and then used that active income to invest in real estate so he too could earn passive income. So Andre, you're singing my song. This is like my family's legacy that I'm out here looking to build as generation one now for my kids, without any windfalls. I'm building it all as if that's my story too. I happen to have all the knowledge, but the legacy that my father gave me was what you learn on your own, you have earned and then you own. So I love the story that you were able to kind of share, that this has been your journey. You now own and you've earned that learning. You own the property. You own the lessons that came along with it, and that legacy can pass to your children. Now, the thing you did not say that I'm going to ask you again is, tell me about your lifestyle and the time that you get to spend with the people that you love, because it's great to talk about time freedom and money freedom, but if those are just concepts, sometimes it doesn't hit the ground for people. Like, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, it actually means that I start my year like what Dan Sullivan taught me. And at that time, I thought it's completely unbelievable and unachievable. But like if you really want to have a freedom of time, you should have probably 150 days free of work. What means 3 days? He called those days 3 days when you don't check your emails, you don't talk about the business, so you can spend your time and precious time with the family, you're rejuvenating, and do other things that than work. And at that time, I've been working probably 70 to 80 hours a week building my business. I I I didn't think it's believable. And for the last 10 years, I'm tracking my days. Like I'm having about 140, 150 days on average where I don't take business calls. I don't send emails. I'm not discussing business. And that's a very liberating lifestyle to spend time with your family. because I found a lot among the business people. I'm in a young president organization. I was a membership officer on the board, and I learned talking to those entrepreneurs that people making good money, but they grinding, they work so hard. So it's very common that you go to different any event with the kids, and or they have a family dinner and they sneak in their phone and try to send a message and say, excuse me, this is a very important call, I have to take it. But come on, like what can be most important than your family,
Yeah.
right? So why someone else is more important? But it requires to build processes and systems. You cannot just free yourself up from your operation. You have to, it takes time to build it.
Yes. And, I love that, sorry, I have to take this. This is really important. Aren't you taking your family out or being with your family? Because that's important. Distraction, I think, is the number one threat to anybody's success in today's day and age. There's so much attention grabbing, shiny objects, from television to social media to billboards, and everywhere you look, everyone wants your attention. Advertising is, it's a tool, but also if you allow it, it can guide your thoughts. So I love what you said about getting very intentional about where you're focusing your time, because if you're getting freedom from you working that 80-hour week, or freedom to be able to choose your lifestyle, how do you define that? And for you, Andre, it sounds like spending time with my family is number one. Having the ability and the gift, but also it's like non-negotiable to have that space of literally 1/3 of your year that is, or maybe a little less, right? But of free space, of not focused attention, allowing that freedom to just kind of allow yourself to be, right? So in that vein, I want to invite you to kind of chat with us a little bit about a system that can help people understand how to develop this kind of lifestyle over time based on what you've learned on your journey. Clearly, the road that you've traveled, you're now turning around here and allowing us to kind of garner your wisdom. So can you share with us some tools, tactics, and ways of thinking in order to help people to achieve that level of freedom?
Sure. Give me 1 second.
I'll give you 10 seconds. No,
All right.
just kidding. Go ahead.
So I think I really think that we as a parent can be more intentional about spending time with the kids and family, because like if we only focus on work and business, like uh, we can have a devastating results with the kids, and time is going really fast. So I wrote a book, this is my book, Total Financial Awakening, and it describes step-by-step process. Basically, it's a blueprint what I've done. It gives an example of a guy who worked many hours, 80 hours per week, and he, like most of Americans, have a car loan. His wife has a car loan. He had the country club membership, and he was about one paycheck broke, because he didn't have any free cash flow. So everything he had to pay. And the first step, and I've seen many people like this. I also was a loan officer where you get all the tax returns, and you can be amazed like when people make so much money, and after they making all the payments, they have nothing left, nothing. They don't have any saving accounts, and they spend it all. It seems like we run in a rate race, because usually what happens, a person finish college, then he buys a car, gets a car loan, then he buys a house, and then he gets a raise, and he buys a nicer car, and then he goes to a nicer neighborhood, and they never can catch up with the Johnsons, right? And they will look at their neighbors, and they want to show off what they have. And I think a lot of people in such a big day, it's not think, but there is a data also how much credit cards which American family has, and paying those credit cards with the high interest rate, it can be 30, 40% per year. That's big hole in the finance budget for the family. So I think if anyone wants to change it, the first step is a person needs to sit down and probably decide for yourself like where you want to be. Is enough is enough, and because you if you and decide first like how much money you want to make, right? So what would be your freedom of time? And some people probably don't realize how much money, or they never spend time thinking about it. So that will be the first step. Decide how much money you want to make. For example, if you want to make, I don't know, every person is different. Let's say very simple math, $10,000 per month, right? Which makes $120,000. And maybe it's good money uh, uh, because if you have this passive income, you don't need to live in US. You can live somewhere else. You can live in Bali. You can live in, let's say, Costa Rica, and feel yourself a very rich person. Or if you want to have $1 million, you can scale your plan 10 times and decide how much money you want to make. Second step would be to look at your current situation. So this is step number two, build your budget. There are a lot of tools, free tools, like the one that I personally use called Mint. It's MINT. You can download in your phone, and it pulls the data from your payments. And the first step is to look how much money you spend, how much money comes in, and how much money goes out, and really decide on your budget. And a lot of time, a lot of people probably don't realize how much money they just wasting by buying expensive stuff that they cannot afford. So like $5. I don't want to exaggerate, but $5 per day for let's say Starbucks coffee every single day or a couple of days a week. And if you cannot afford to pay $5 for coffee, why you waste it? But take assessment of your current situation, how much money you make and how much money you spend.
I hear the goalpost, right? I grew up watching football, so the analogy here looks like the field goal post, right? And in everything that you've said so far, it has the word decision in it. Decide where you want to go. Decide on your budget and your spending. So often, the freedoms that we're seeking come from making a decision first. So I love that you setting up the framework about, getting clarity on where you want to go. What does it mean if you were to stop working tomorrow? What is your lifestyle right now? And how can you afford it? Do you have this dollar amount? How can you replace this? Usually for investors is the first thing they ask. How do I replace my active income so that I could stop working and still maintain what I have? Usually that's a great question to start asking. What am I spending? How much would it take for my lifestyle if I were to walk away from my active income to have that passive come in? So you can start developing your thought process around where you are and where you want to be. So deciding is huge. So I will pass you back the mic. I really am interested to know, what is step 3 and beyond?
Yeah, Alyssa, so exactly step one is be intentional about where you want to be. Because if you don't set that destination, it's like with GPS. If you never enter the address, you can drive around, and you can never come to the destination where you want to be. And vice versa, and opposite, if you put that destination, if you put that financial destination on paper and decide where you want to be, you may have a lot of roadblocks, but GPS will show you around, and eventually it doesn't really matter where you turn left or right. Eventually you're going to get to the place where you want to be, but you need to take 100% responsibility and decide for yourself what's your financial destination. It can
Yeah.
be 5,000, it can be 10, maybe it's $1 million. I don't know.
Who heard that? Take 100% responsibility. High five.
Yeah, high five.
High five. Taking that control into your own destiny and making those decisions, like that is freedom right there. It's the path to freedom, but you actively walk it. As you make those decisions, you're releasing yourself from the distractions that the world kind of shoulds on you that you think you have to have or that you think you might need to be. Keep going.
Yeah, it's and I think it also very important like to have this investor mentality. I have three kids. My kids 14, 12, and 7 right now. And I train the kids the same mentality what I train other people. Well, I'm trained like I was a founding member of Midwest Real Estate Investment Association, run the company for 5 years. And same mentality that you're not a consumer, you investor. And when you receive the money, like this is what I teach my kids. I don't know if this will be appropriate for your kids. Please feel free to use it. But every time you receive a money, you receive, let's say, $100. They decide that 1/3 that they can spend for whatever they want, that dream bucket. 1/3 will be for investment, and 1/3 will be given bucket, so they can help other people or they can buy gifts or whatever. And that's a really nice, like, in simple exercise is when people make a decision, they're not consumers, they are investors. And probably stop using credit cards. Like if you cannot afford to buy something, just don't use credit card, use debit card. It's another I forgot the gentleman um, who teaches about the debt, but he's very famous. And I teach kids the same. Uh, if you use the money need to be invested so they can uh, you can have a financial freedom. And financial freedom is definition of financial freedom is uh, a situation where you can support your current lifestyle without going to work. Again, like your current lifestyle can be bigger and better, and that's our goal, but you don't need to work to go to work. And that was a very good question that I asked Robert Kiyosaki. Went to investment summit and spent a week with his team and on a cruise. And I told him, well, listen, like I'm making really good money as a loan officer. Like, why do you need to invest in real estate? And he said, well, listen, like if you're going to be hit by a bus or become incapable, your income is gone. So that's the difference between self-employed person and real estate investor or a business owner. And I made a decision that I want to be both. I want to be a business owner and a real estate investor.
Amen. So for all those solopreneurs out there who think that you're going to earn money and be independent, much of that independence comes from your collaboration with others. So stop thinking of yourself as independent and more as collaborative, because that is the way that you build a business. Then you're a business owner because you're not performing all the functions in your job. As a solopreneur, many times we get trapped into thinking I'm independent, I'm going to do it all myself. But that's the mentality a lot of folks have to transcend, to going from having your own business, but you're basically self-employed. You are the business, to transcend into that, bigger, broader framework about, adding value to other people's lives, building an enterprise that can be systematic, that can operate without any one of its individual parts. Some of that is the mentality around investing. Like you're talking about, money comes in and splitting it in thirds around savings, spending, and tithing. You can also think about that in terms of your energy and building what comes next. You have to go from this individual me for me sake into how can I serve? How can I broaden this? And it's amazing what comes from there. That enterprise level thinking, that investor mindset, that is truly, freedom through collaboration, I have found.
Yeah, and so we talk about the two steps. The first step is decide what you want. Second, take responsibility and start budgeting, like understand, like take assessment of your finances. The third step would be you need to decide on what kind of investments you want to make. Probably like single family homes will be a good step. And I applied the model where you buy or you build operational business where you make money and then you invest in real estate, buy the asset, that has three benefits. Is number one, appreciation. Real estate goes up in value over time, and depreciation, because if you're a real estate professional, you can write off your real estate, and also it works as a long time, I would say, saving account, because over time you're reducing. If you don't have the money, you probably get the mortgage, and your loan will be paid off over time. So if you can accelerate your payments and don't wait 30 years, maybe you can pay it off in 6 to 8 years if you do right things. So you need to understand where to learn. If real estate sounds appealing or interesting, like there are a lot of good places where you can learn, different podcasts, bigger pockets. There is probably a real estate investment association in every city in US, and to start meeting different people, learning, because you need to learn how to invest. And I think there are only three things you need to do. Don't spend, or don't waste your time and energy on thinking about your company name, thinking how your business card is going to look like. You have to go and take action. You need to start buying homes and make offers, because a lot of people like think about this and waste energy, but you need to start making offers and learn how to make offers to get your first house. When you get your first house, everything will be completely different, and you'll become a real estate investor by experience, not by uh, in theory, you know?
Yep. You take it from the academic to the applicable. You know, experience is the best teacher. Back when we were studying with Jack, we were studying experiential learning techniques. So a lot of what is out there today in terms of courses, seminars, whatever, a lot of it is intellectually based, informationally based. And in today's day and age, where the rubber meets the road, that's where the learning really actually happens. So I love what you said there about going and getting the experience and the exposure, because that in and of itself will take all the theory that you've ever contemplated and put it into action, so that you learn what's important for you and what you need to leave on the back burner. It helps you determine a sense of priority.
Alissa, you're exactly right. So I told you what not spend time and energy on, but let me tell you what you should spend, or you should consider spending time on. It's only three things. Okay, you ready? Finding good people, number one. Number two, finding good deals. And number three, finding money. Because you would need to have capital to buy real estate. And when I came to US and started building my business, I didn't have any money. In fact, I had $20,000 of debt when I arrived, but it didn't stop me, because like you have friends and family. If you have a good deal, you will find the money. Guarantee. There are a lot of people who are looking for investments, and if you know how to present your deal, and they will be able to either partner, or they will give you a loan, a hard money loan, and you can complete your deal. A lot of people don't realize that, for example, especially working in as W-2 employees, there's like 401ks, IRAs that lock up with the employers, but there are a lot of custodians or options how you can self-direct and be your own custodian. But there are a lot of companies like Equity Trust. It's a public company. You can roll over your 401ks, IRA, and then you can use those funds to buy real estate, or use as a down payment, and unlock your capital and be your own kind of captain of your own destiny with the money. A lot of people don't realize it, because this one source of capital. Another source of capital, I would say, that I personally use. I didn't have the money, so I used zero interest credit cards, and I think I was able to access close to $200,000 at no interest for 12 months. I still receive a lot of mail with the solicitation 12 to 18 months, no interest loans, because you need to have a down payment in order to buy a house. It's unlikely someone will sell you a house with no money down. So you have to provide some kind of down payment. Down payment can be from friends, family, from your 401ks, from partnering with other people. And that will be the first step, to find people with money, to find good people, because you need to have a good team, like title company, contractors, inspectors, and to find money. So three things.
Yeah. And you know what? Even if it's not real estate, business in general is a team sport. Those partnerships and the relationships that you build to find the deals, the relationships that you build to be able to talk about what you're up to and lead you to other people, partners, and sometimes capital. You know, these are the building blocks of establishing a good solid framework to be able to give yourself freedom going forward. The basis of our conversation here today, we are not done. We will have you back sometime in the future, Andrey, because I feel like you have this wealth of knowledge, and what you're saying is what you've actually done. So, you know, everybody, you know, turn up the volume, watch this episode again. I've also had a self-directed custodian here on this show so that you can have access to what the ins and outs of deploying that kind of strategy can look like. So look back in the archives. But for now, Andrey, I appreciate your time and sharing your words of wisdom around freedom and around taking responsibility and making those decisions that help you get to where you want to be. You know, get that clarity and then get moving. So where can people go to find you to learn more or connect?
Alissa, I'd like to wrap it up with the quote that I learned from Jack Canfield. If you don't step forward, you are always in the same place. So the first step will be probably for people make a decision and maybe go and check out local real estate investment association and meet and greet the people who are in the industry. And it's easy to find me. Go to LinkedIn or Facebook and type my name, Andrey Sokurec, or grab my book on Amazon, Total Financial Awakening, and learn the story. And you can apply the same blueprint what I used to build my own company and my own financial freedom.
Yeah, he wrote the book on it, everybody. Go grab it. Andrey, thanks a million for being here with me today. It's always a pleasure to connect with you and now to open it up to a wider audience to allow people to learn from you. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world. And until next time, friends, every Monday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, rise and shine. Join me at YouTube or find me on social. You'll be able to get these nuggets and then go back in the archives. This is a self-study course right here. So, Andrey, cheers to being here. Thanks a million. And click the like, subscribe, come chat with us, leave us comments, let us know what you thought. And we'd love to see you next time around. But for now, have a really great day. And don't forget to keep your mindset right so you can rise and shine every day.